Hey everyone, Drewski here, and about the moment this video launches, Bohemia Interactive will have released their first new Arma title in over 8 years. In today's episode, we'll be exploring the game's feature set, gameplay, graphical improvements, and performance. If you'd like to check out more gameplay of Arma Reforger in the future, subscribe to the channel. I'll have more videos out both today and tomorrow of raw gameplay just for you. So, what is Arma Reforger? Is it Arma 4? It's not Arma 4. It's Bohemia's first playable presentation of their new Infusion engine, allowing Arma and our community to enter a new age with an engine actually capable of delivering modern-day graphics, performance, and gameplay tech. This is the game that will prepare BI to make that bigger step to the long-awaited Arma 4 project, and Reforger is also the first game in the Arma franchise to release both on PC and on console. So, let's take a look-see, shall we? Gameplay. Smooth, simple, fast, and clean. The action menu, the one that has ejected you from Heli's, forced you to place explosives on your arsenal, it's gone. Replaced with contextual pop-up controls, hotbars, and hotkeys for certain inventory items, and the occasional radial menu, only on a controller I've found. Movement is smooth. Your speed is now adjustable with the scroll wheel similar to Escape from Tarkov. Animations are so much better, with transitions between different stances being much smoother, and moving around just looks great. At the moment, netcode and networking is a little non-interpolated, so people are kind of lagging around and jumping around as per the server's refresh rate. But stuff like reloading and changing weapons and dropping weapons and throwing grenades, all is much more refined and just much better looking. Substances from Arma 3 are gone, but I bet that's a feature that will be circling back in at some point, especially for Arma 4. Guns are good. The models look amazing. The muzzle flash from AKs actually follows the muzzle brake's exhaust directions. I mean, there's a lot of detail here, and there's plenty of wear and tear on the models to gawk at for hours. Fire selectors aren't visibly functional yet, but all scopes are picture-in-picture, meaning that they are simulated and don't just zoom in your entire screen to the scope's zoom level. They actually look and perform really well. Like, this is some of the best PIP scopes I've seen in a game in a long time. Definitely better than the modded ones in Arma 3. And if you don't like picture-in-picture scopes, you can disable them and change to 2D scopes in the options menu. Neat. On the communication side, the game now includes a default vanilla radio system, similar to what you guys have seen in Arma 3's TFAR or Acre, or Arma 2, I guess, as well.
Dude, let's go to 50.5.
The rest of us are going to be on foot. We're going to be moving south from there towards Pinewood.
50.5. Check. You have a VoIP key you can press to speak locally to teammates around you, or you can press the separate radio key to speak over the radio channel. And then you can adjust and change your radio channel if you want to split comms. It's really good. The voice quality isn't as close to TeamSpeak at the moment, but the new comm system is still pretty neat. Now the default talking method in Arma is local VoIP, which is extremely appreciated. Vehicles are much better now. You can physically change seats by looking at them and clicking the pop-up button to move while inside of a vehicle. It seems so far like all vehicles in the game are going to have interiors, even when they might add tanks in the future or might add helicopters, especially tanks, for example. I think every single vehicle in the game is going to have functional entry and exit doors, as well as entry and exit animations, and also the internals of every vehicle are fully recreated. You could look inside of the BTR as you get in, and as you're driving or riding or gunning in it, and you can see everybody that's in the BTR, and you can see when they jump out. It's really neat. Other than the ground trying to eat me in the BTR, because its physics are a little broken at the moment, I've had absolutely zero Arma moments in any other vehicle in the game. You can drop them down cliffs. From a distance, the physics look kind of like something out of Beam and G. I mean, it's not bad. Driving in a convoy was much more consistent and realistic in this game than any before it. If you ram your car into someone else, I don't really remember if you get hurt or not, but you won't explode your car suddenly, and there's no netcody rubber banding vehicles all over the place. It's grounded, it's smooth, it's realistic. The vehicles have functional suspension systems now with much more realistic physics when they're going over bumps and things like that. Vehicles were just a much needed upgrade that finally has landed into an Arma game, which I'm really excited for. Graphics. Look, Arma 3 is an impressive game. Arma 2 is an impressive game. The level of size and scale of those games outdid any other titles of their times, but they didn't compete with other games when it came to graphics. You look at 2013, you're talking about, Battlefield 4 versus Arma 3, and there's definitely a graphical difference there, but maps were simple. They were big, so they had to be simple with low amounts of clutter or life to them to keep games running smoothly at all. Houses were either unenterable or empty, and lighting was... yeah, this is Reforger. This is Arma 3. It's not perfect, but damn, is it better. Texture detail is a much greater resolution across the board. Check out the threads on this Swiss Alpenflog uniform. Check out the dirt. Check out that tree. I mean, even that rock looks good. Okay, so graphics are pretty. We've definitely been able to see that. But does this affect gameplay? Yes. In Arma titles before, bad guys were extremely visible at range due to simplified distant terrain textures, lack of long-distance shadows, and poor foliage range. Now, many improvements have been made to change that. Object view distance is... whoa, there's not even an object view distance slider anymore. It's just view distance. They're bound together. I'm a little... teensy bit disappointed that view distance is still anywhere under 10K, but that's also just my DCS brain being spoiled with seeing 40 miles out with a targeting pod. This is still a giant improvement. Arma 3's default view distance at Ultra was, what, 2500? 3K maybe? Now I can easily run 5K view distance and object distance at 100 FPS in Zeus, with these modern graphics added on as well. I mean, damn, that's not bad. Shadow view distance is extremely far, maybe 3 kilometers, which affects gameplay much more than you might think. Hiding in the shadow of a tree, a person 2 clicks out will see you draped in shadow. Unlike Arma 3, where the only distance shadows that existed were very simple, low-resolution terrain shadows that barely functioned well at all. Real shadows only kicked in at a maximum of maybe 200 meters. Rain causes objects to actually get wet now. Even after storms have passed, you'll see wet roads and puddles throughout the landscape. Your character will also get wet if he goes into water or steps into a rainstorm. Nighttime also looks really good, and the night lighting is much more realistically cast throughout characters and objects. No more flashlights penetrating walls or street lamps disappearing after 100 meters. The limit to the amount of lights that can be on screen is something I haven't reached yet, even in a 30-person operation where every single person had a flashlight with vehicles and a convoy. It's something that you don't notice until it's there, just how impressive it is.
Look behind us.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's amazing.
Holy shit. Like, I'm sure
Wow.
there's limitations to it. I just have not seen them yet.
So, okay, enough talking about the way that the game looks. How does the game run? Performance. I have an AMD 5950X with a RTX 3080 Ti, 64 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and the game files are stored on a Samsung 860 EVO for my testing. Running 1440p, just below max settings, the only setting turned off is hardware anti-aliasing. I'm sitting around 90 to 110 FPS sitting in the editor alone. If I add around 8 rifle squads worth of AI and turn them against each other, the FPS goes down to low 70s, high 60s. Here's the exact same number of AI fighting at a similar distance in Arma 3 with 5000 view distance at ultra settings. When looking at my processor and task manager, about 10 out of 16 cores on my 5950X were being utilized to process this firefight. Here's a daytime PvE operation with 30 players on the server against probably 50 active AI at any time. It never fell below 60, usually hovering between 80 and 90 even. I was shocked when I noticed during a hectic firefight that I was sitting over 80. I mean, the most surprising thing right now is just look at your frames.
No, at the church in Montignac. Get a slideshow if it was Arma 3.
Hey guys, with me, frag the power station.
Contact front!
Down the line, down the line, down
I got him. The AI were always the main frame rate killer in older Arma games, and the AI in Reforger are most definitely simpler at the moment than Arma 3's, for example, but they have a considerably smaller performance hit when compared to those old Arma titles. The scalability of the engine as well is definitely something to comment on. You can be looking at a pile of pebbles and then be 1 mile in the air and then return to Earth across the map, and the whole time never having a frame rate hiccup or low frames. This is going to be extremely nice for our guys that are up in the air in fighter jets when Arma 4 releases, or helicopters that are moving really quickly, because this roughly shows us what sort of performance we can expect with the next Arma game. This is the new engine that the new Arma game, Arma 4, is going to be based off of, and so we can fly across the map and see that our frame rates are stable, and there's no LOD rendering bugs or any lagging as we fly over buildings, which used to happen very commonly in Arma 3. If your GPU is the weakest link of your PC, there's also a resolution scaler and Fidelity FX Super Resolution, which helps sharpen and add some detail to any lower resolution you set it to. Even running at 70% resolution or 50%, it's still rather playable and definitely helped when trying the game out on my 2016 gaming laptop. Factions. Similar to Arma Cold War Crisis as well, you've got the US, you've got Soviet Russia, and the FIA faction. The US has M16s, M16 GLs, M14s, M249s, M60s, and M9 Berettas, oh, and Laws. The Soviets and Alpenflog boys have the AK-74, the GL variant as well. What, did you think I was gonna do it again? RPK-74, SVD, PKM, PM, and RPG-7s. Vehicles are relatively few, down to Humvees, Jeeps, and 5-ton trucks for the US side, Urals, a UAZ, and a 14.5 BTR for the Soviet side. Which I think is a little odd. I feel like having a BTR on one side and a Humvee with a 50 cal as the strongest weapon on the other side is not exactly balanced. But I don't know, I think they just weren't done yet, and so this is what we get right now. The game has a Capture the Island style game mode, a Game Master style game mode similar to Arma 3 Zeus, and that's the game. It's small, but it's big. A small game, a big demo. For $30 US, I can understand the players who might be disappointed with just a few vehicles, 2 main modes, no single player, very simple AI, no real 3D mission editor, and a handful of rifles. I mean, it's 2022. But I can also see longtime Arma fans getting into a match and realizing just how different of an Arma launch this is. It's not a full Arma game, and in my opinion, for the wait we've had since Arma 3, I'm kind of surprised it's not a full Arma game. I'm surprised it's Reforger and not 4. It's not full of a list of new features and fun toys to play with, but it is something entirely brand new from the ground up, and that's not just marketing mumbo jumbo. This is an entirely new game. I'm let down a little, but also enlightened with hope that we're this close to the dream Arma game, one with next-gen graphics, good performance, and new quality life features that we don't need to mod in anymore. If you want my honest opinion, buy this game if you want Arma 4. You'll enjoy the sneak peek into the development of the game, you'll have a brand new modding suite to customize this game to your heart's content like never before, and you'll definitely be able to make enough experiences with the Game Master mode to make the $30 become worth it. I'm not gonna say or speculate anything about future content for this game. I'm not telling you to buy this game in hopes for the future content it'll have. It is fair to say that Bohemia took almost a decade to get DayZ, an early access game like this one, to its current state. Bohemia does say that this game will be supported with content updates seemingly up until the next big game launches, so let's see if they hold up to that promise. For now, it's pretty dang cool. Thanks for watching.